Okay, let me start off by saying this, right? D1, me and you are on the same page when it comes to the negative effects of gangster rap, speaking against gangster rap, and stuff like that. I actually been making videos speaking out against gangster rap as well. So we on the same page as far as that go. I definitely wouldn't want you or anybody else to actually take this as some type of slight or diss or anything like that, right? Because it's not. I know that's definitely not my intentions, and hopefully it's not taken that way by you or nobody else. And I would definitely keep this video respectful. The reason why I'm making a video is because I was on my Facebook page, and as I was just scrolling down my timeline, I kept seeing I guess you could say shorts or small videos of you popping up on the timeline, right? But that kept happening, and what I saw was I think you was promoting a song called "Gangsta." I think I saw that like 3 different times.
They don't like me, but they know they can't deny me. Man, I'm a real gangster, and you know right where to find me.
And it reminded me of a video I made. Actually, it was something, I can't remember the exact date, but it was some years back. The name of the video I made was called "Let Gangsta Be Gangsta."
Okay, I'm making this video because I think we should just let gangster be gangster.
Right? The reason why I said we need to let gangster be gangster in that video was because, first of all, I was making a point that the fact that gangster is already normalized and even got turned into a compliment or a good thing is already a problem, right? If somebody got a nice car, somebody will say that's gangster. Somebody might say being a good father is gangster. Being a good father is just being, that's just a good thing. It's just being a good daddy. It's not gangster, right? But look, the very music that we both speak out against, gangster rap, right? The culture of that music, which is from the streets, right, has been normalized through this very music that we speak about, and we got to the point where something that's negative, destructive, that's of Satan, gangster activity, being a gangster, or saying something is gangster, has been normalized through this very music that we speak against in the first place. It's just a normalization of street culture, right? I mean, that's what happened. Referring to yourself or, as gangster, or saying the good stuff is gangster, is basically helping street culture, helping a mouthpiece of street culture, gangster rap, is helping to normalize street culture. Like, if we want to push back against street culture in a music that's glorifying, celebrating, and promoting street culture, I don't think we should take the slangs from the street culture and call ourselves that, if that's the very thing that we speaking against, if that's the very thing that we are not for. Let's say I wanted to get people to stop procrastinating, stop wasting time. Like, man, we just sit around doing nothing. We need to get to it. We just sit around, we procrastinate all day, right? And let's say, look, this week I got an acronym. This is what we gonna do. All right, we gonna do everything momentarily on notice. That's the type of time we need to be on demon time. I don't feel like, would that be can I go, should I go around saying I'm on demon time, or calling, telling other people to be on demon time? If I know where it come from, we know that the demonic is not good. They saying this is something bad, right? Should I take that, even though I speak against that culture, and say I'm on demon time? And particularly because I'm a believer myself, I'm a Christian, so like you said, you identify as a Christian, right? So should we be going around as Christians, referring to ourselves as gangsters, saying that we on demon time, or tell others, call yourself gangster, this is, start making gangster good. We need to leave street culture, pull people away from it, speak against. We don't need to try to, we shouldn't lump ourselves up with it. Gangster, is already what it is. It has a set definition. People already have an association, not only just an association, it actually has a set definition. People already have an association with it. And through the normalization in for lack of a better term, love affair with the street culture that got normalized through gangster rap, Street stuff is not only is this like accepted as the norm, but you know, in some sectors of society actually embraced. Now, like I said, people already have an association with this word, even if you're not a gangster rapper, right? I mean, if you don't like gangster rap at all, they already have a set definition for this word. If you actually into gangster rap, you already know what the set definition of the word is, which is why people from the street like to call themselves gangster, because they have a definition, right? They're not calling themselves wonderful young men, they're calling themselves gangsters, because they have a set definition for what this word is already. But on top of that, with the music and the people who have association and a love affair with the music, you know, you get a certain type of vibe. Like I say, they don't refer to themselves as wonderful young men for no reason, right? When people want to refer to themselves as a gangster, you know, it's just not just association. You know, you can have a certain persona, a certain vibe, or you know, just a certain, for lack of a better term, swag that comes along with using it. And this is already heavily steeped in the society that we live in. It's like huge, right? So, you know, to take that word that already has a set definition, already have that association, and have that vibe to come along with it. I mean, I think that's something. I mean, I think that might be something you might really want to think about it. And it can be dangerous to the body of Christ. The gangster is profane. That's straight profane. The definition, the association, that's demon time is profane. Already have some Christians who might be, you know, struggling in that area with the music, you know, already, you know, kind of like conditioned to accept, associate, or even embrace street culture. You may have some people who, you know, you might say, you know, in your comments that DM you that say, hey man, we behind you, and you know, these are Christian. Or some people say, hey man, you know, I don't really, you know, I wasn't really a Christian. I don't really, you know, deal with God, but you know, hearing you, man, made me kind of interested. You know, you may even hear stuff like that, right? But, you know, should we as Christians win people over by any means necessary, even if it means co-signing something that, you know, that's negative and destructive? And, you know, I think that most would be in agreement that the goal should be to continue the good deeds without giving the people the destruction or co-signing the destruction, or labeling ourselves after the destruction. And it's just to me, it's another way for the enemy to just find a way to slither on into the body, into the church stuff, you know? That, to me, that's how I feel about it. Because these terms is negative, destructive, wicked, satanic terms. Gangster and what they do and being on demon time, I mean, they kind of speak for itself. And like I said, this not a diss, but I do think it's something that needed to be said. And you know, I just hope that you know, I hope you know, just, you know, give it some thought, and just know I didn't mean no offense or nothing like that. And to the people listening, I hope you give it some thought, and you know, think twice about it as well.